Let's make sure everything's working okay. All right, we are good. Everything is looking good. Okay, perfect. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Malin. Welcome back to another part of the Cleveland Browns rebuild in Madden 25. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I jumped into this series. Last weekend, of course, with everything surrounding my own Dallas Cowboys. Started up a new rebuild with them, but we're moving back to the other team that I've been on the rebuild project for the last month or so. So I had to go back and refresh myself how we did in 2026. Well, in 2026, the Cleveland Browns, we went 8-9 with the second year of Quinn Ewers as our starting quarterback. We drafted him in the first offseason. We've made a couple more roster changes, and I'm hoping that this is the year that we can finally become a playoff team. I really feel like that we do have some higher-rated players, although most of them are still players that we have kept from the first edition of this roster. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Njoku, Jeremiah Owosu, and Greg Newsome and T. Higgins are our top players. We only have two guys in the 90s, Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett. Yours could be up to the 90s club soon, hopefully by the end of the season. He's getting close. He has progressed pretty well in his first 2 years as a starter. He's definitely our franchise quarterback. I don't really see a need to make any change there right now, so we're going to go forward with him. Greg Hayden is a rookie quarterback we did draft, but I don't have expectations for him to be a starter in the next few years. But drafting backup quarterbacks, there's no shame in that. And we have Jake Browning as our third stringer. We also have Nick Chubb. We still have him as our top running back. Kendre Miller is a guy we signed in the offseason, and we still have Sir Roderick Thompson. We did sign Kyle Juszczyk this offseason. He was one of our big free agent signings, 81 overall. But at this point, 14 years in the league, he's probably in his last year in the league. He'll probably retire after the season, so we're going to have to make some adjustments there. But during the offseason, we did make a trade for a new number one receiver. I really wanted to go look for somebody who was going to really elevate this team because obviously since the Browns traded Amari Cooper in the first season of 2024, when I started up this franchise, we really did not have a true number one receiver. We still had Jerry Jeudy. But we needed somebody else. We needed somebody to go on the opposite side of Jeudy and really give us another weapon. So we made a trade with the Bengals for T. Higgins. We still have Jeudy. Barian Brown has gotten better every year, but he's not in the mid to high 80s just yet. Hopefully this is the year we can get even better. We still have Bernard, and we have Sheldon, who was a rookie we drafted this year to help with the receiving core. We still have Lacey, although he's not really progressing very well, so I don't know how much longer we'll keep him. Deuce Robinson we drafted last year, but he hasn't really seen the field, and Jared Brown. So we're pretty young in terms of our receiving core. The most experienced guy on the team is Jerry Jeudy and also T. Higgins. Both of them have been in the league for 7 years, but as far as their age, they're still not even in their 30s yet, so we don't really have any aging guys at receiver. And Njoku is one of the oldest guys, 31, 89 overall, but still solid tight end. Norfleet and Zach Hines, left tackle Spencer Fano, and we have Jalen Rivers backing him up. We still have Joel, 82 left guard, 70 Joshua Gray, 78 Josh Myers as a center, Wyatt Teller, 86, he's still here. Ryan Ramczyk was another player we signed during the offseason. He is 33 years old, 10 years in the league, but we definitely needed to upgrade our right tackle position, and Weatherspoon is going to back him up. Left end, we brought back Eric Armstead. I didn't want to bring him back after last season because getting up there in age, and he's also only 75 overall, but we couldn't really upgrade the left end position much in the offseason, so I brought him back because we drafted Antonio Hills. 73 overall. I don't think that's going to cut it as our starter, so I wanted to bring in some experience because, unfortunately, Elijah Roberts is a player that I've been waiting on the last couple of years to develop at all. And I know if you don't really play a lot of your rookies, they don't develop in the first few seasons, but Elijah, I was hoping for more, but 70 overall, that may be his ceiling for right now. Of course, we still have Myles Garrett, 97 overall. We have McGuire backing him up at 70. Mike Hall Jr., 84 overall. We have Lee Hunter, and we have Poona Ford, who we signed in the offseason. Abdul Carter is a guy we drafted a couple of years ago. He has gotten better. He is in the 80s. Justin Smith is a guy we drafted. He's going to back him up. Middle linebacker Brad Fitzpatrick out of Alabama. We drafted him this year. Don't know how I feel about going with a rookie 75 overall middle linebacker, but hopefully he develops well in the first a few in the first season. He's also a scheme fit guy, so maybe that'll help in his development. Kenneth Murray, and we have Ernest Hausman. Right outside linebacker, we still have Owosu. Matthew Beard is another kid that we drafted, 62 overall. Cornerbacks, we have Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome as still our top guys. We've given Newsome new deal. Jason Marshall Jr. has been with us for a couple of years. He's gotten better, and he's finally supplanted TJ Tampa. And we still have Jacoby Johnson, who we drafted last year. Harden, Humphrey, and White are our other corners. Free safety, we did sign Justin Simmons in the offseason to give us a boost there, 77 overall. We got a 72 Desmond Thomas. 6'6 DeMar Hamlin is the third stringer. Greg Delpit, he's gotten a little bit better throughout the years, 83 overall. And Keon Sabb, who we drafted last year, got up to a 77. We have Dustin Hopkins as our kicker, J.K. Scott as the punter. So I don't really know how better this team will be, to be honest, this season, because there are still positions on this team that I just haven't been able to get like that one player at that particular position to really unlock stuff. But look at Brad Fitzpatrick. Looks like we already got something to unlock for him. We can unlock this at 80. So under pressure, defenders with this ability can apply pressure to quarterback to the quarterback from a greater distance. So under pressure is a skill that we just unlocked with Brad Fitzpatrick only as a rookie. So that's actually looking like it might be a good pick. So that's why I'm not really thinking about bringing in another middle linebacker to compete with Fitzpatrick. I'd say just give the rookie a chance and see what he can do. That's the approach that I'm going to take this year. And we did win our first preseason game against the Cowboys. We're playing the Falcons this week in the preseason. We lose that one. Now we're playing the Bucs to finish the exhibition part of our schedule. And we win that game. And, of course, now we got to get down to cutting players. Let's go ahead and take a look at our staff. We have 27 points. Mike Tomlin is our new coach. We brought him on last season, actually. But I do think it's going to help to an extent Josh Morton and Will Hudson. I'm going to give let me see, get some points to Hudson here. See if we can give him some more skill points here. Got to upgrade the position coaches as well when we can, because sometimes these guys, in the grand scheme of things, can matter just as much as who you have as the head coach for your team. So we only got to cut 5 players. We didn't make a whole bunch of free agent acquisitions during the preseason. Didn't really feel like doing that, so just figured, let's just go with that. We've got some guys. Can we cut Jared Brown? Let's go ahead and cut him. I don't think it's worth keeping him around. Can we cut Lacey without getting a penalty? It'll incur a penalty. So I'm going to put Lacey actually on the practice squad and do something about that as well. I'm going to put Deuce on the practice squad. Tight ends, we have 3 of them. That's our long snapper too, so I don't want to put him on practice and risk losing that. I'll check before the regular season to see if we have any injuries, because that can always derail any team's season. Put Elijah Roberts on practice squad. Defensive tackles, we have 3 of them, so I want to keep 3 of them active, of course. I think we have a lot of corners. So let's actually go over there and let's just cut White flat up because he's not doing anything over there, really. All right, that's what we're going to go with for the regular season. Let's see if we got any housekeeping to take care of. Yes, we've got the draft class, of course. Okay, so let me see. Did I download a 2028 potential draft class? All right, so this is the 2028 class. Potentially, I don't know how many of these guys are really real. I mean, they could all be mostly fake players. But by this point, nobody can really predict, 4 or 5 years into the future very well when it comes to, who's going to be in the draft by 2028. So it is what it is. But we've got a roster downloaded for that, so we're going to go with that. I'm glad the patching thing was fixed, because when I first tried to do rebuilds and franchise modes with the best authentic draft class rosters that I could to make the rebuilds more realistic with future players for this year's draft and next year's draft, I couldn't do that. With my first Cowboys franchise that I did, there was just the regular one of just trying to control the team and do whatever I wanted to do. We can only do auto-generated players. We couldn't get anybody. We couldn't download rosters that were customized and everything like that. So we're opening up the season against the Raiders on the road. I want to check the injury report to start off the season, see if we have any key injuries. We don't have any injuries to start the year, so that's good. I think... Sorry, I heard sirens going off, but it's probably just the ambulance or something. Okay. Sorry, I just had to mute because it sounded really close to where I live. But anyway. Okay, then. So let me actually take a look at maybe the free agent pool just really quickly to potentially see if there are any sort of improvements whatsoever that we can make with this team. I doubt it. Cooper Kupp is a free agent at 78 overall. He's really regressed, but you know, I know it's not a scheme fit guy, but I think it's worth signing him. Looks like he's on the back end of his career, but you know what? I don't think there's any shame in that. So what were some positions that I could potentially... Yeah, okay, so we already improved the left end position, really, with getting Armstead back in here. So Cody Barton is rated higher than our rookie, but I don't think he's rated super much higher, so I don't think that would really make too much of a difference. But getting Cooper Kupp in here, I mean, he's not a scheme fit guy, but that could... it won't really help too much in the grand scheme of things, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, Jerry Jeudy is already wearing number 10 anyway. So can Cooper Kupp wear something like any similar to what he's worn in the past, or do I just have to keep him wearing like 83? You know what? He'll just wear 80 for this year. Definitely did not expect him to be on the free agent market, but I guess because he's rated 78 overall and he's finally starting to regress, that's probably the reason why. But veteran receiver depth, I don't think really hurts us too much. I just figured he's there. We might as well just give it a shot, because why not? We do have to cut a player, though, because we did that. So let me go to corners, because we have a bunch of extra corners. Humphrey is really not doing anything, so we're going to go ahead and cut him. So, yeah, so we just made an acquisition and signed Cooper Kupp off the free agent list. But then again, you know, this is several years into the future, so when I say Cooper Kupp, this is kind of like getting into the ancient old Cooper Kupp, if you want to go with that, so to speak. Well, let's go ahead and simulate to the middle of the season and see where this team is at. We've gotten better the first two seasons that we've had Quinn Ewers as the starter, but 8-9 last season, hoping for 9-8 this year at least. We'll see if there's a chance of that, because I still feel like it's a stretch. Well, 4-3 is not bad. That's not a bad way to start the year. Let's go ahead and delegate decisions. We are third place, well, I guess actually tied for second in the AFC North. We have the 10th spot in the conference. No, I don't want to exit. Yeah. Not the worst start. I think it's one of our better starts that we've had in the sim. I don't know. Maybe this is a chance. Maybe we got something here. Well, let's check out who's ready to negotiate their contracts. We have a whole lot of cap space. Holy Christmas. $152 million. That's a lot. Unfortunately, the top guys, well, except for Denzel Ward, are not interested. But Ward is interested in coming back. But he only wants, I guess, 1 year. I guess I'll just have to do it. I'll just do 1 year for Denzel Ward. These guys we're going to have to offer more contracts to. Wyatt Teller is 86, right guard. I don't want to risk losing him, so let's try to keep him on for 1 more year. I don't think he took that offer. No, he actually did not take the offer. Murray is a backup middle linebacker. We've got the rookie in there as well, so I'm not really thinking about that. Ramczyk is, he's getting up there in age. He's 80 overall. I might come back to that, but maybe we could do better in the offseason as far as upgrading that position. Joel, I think, is really getting tired of being here, and it may just be time to move on, because we would have to offer him a pretty lengthy contract just to keep him here, if you ask me. These guys are rated lower. Kupp we just signed. I don't really think I'm going to bring him back. Even Simmons is down to a 76. That's not too much better than what we had. It still helps, sure. But, yeah. Juszczyk may retire, so I don't think I'm going to negotiate anything with him. But Ewers' contract, it's the fifth-year option. Okay, it's the fifth-year option on his contract. Well, I'll tell you this. I'm going to look at Ewers' stats the rest of the season and see kind of how he does. And then we may just have to make a decision with that, because I guess there is a sense of, is Ewers the guy, or should we maybe draft a different quarterback if this guy is not going to be able to get us to the playoffs? This is his third season as the franchise quarterback. And then again, you can say, you need all the talent around him. It's like, okay, we got a very good running back. We traded for a pretty decent receiver. We have a good tight end. How can you not make the playoffs with that? But hopefully, we don't have to answer too many questions like that. So let's go ahead and simulate. We got the bye week. We're playing Denver this week. And did we win that game? Yes, we did. We beat the Broncos. So now we are 5-3. So we're not doing too bad right now. We do have 23 skill points to spend, so that's pretty good. Let me go to Josh Morton, our defensive coordinator, and see if I can give any upgrades here. Burnout, we'll do an upgrade there. Some of the assistants are finally starting to get a little bit more upgrades, so that's pretty good. $170 million as far as the owner, that's what we have. Let's go to answer the media question here. Your team's in a good spot. Well, it's a dangerous game to start looking ahead. So right now the guys seem to worry about winning each week. And, of course, if I have to have any big playoffs, I'm just going to go take it week by week because, we had a decent start last year. Well, I don't know how well we actually started last year. I can't really remember. But I think we were kind of hovering around 500. And then we had like a bad skid towards the November point of our season, and we just struggled to ever get off the mat, and we just missed the playoffs again. We're 85s across the board in terms of the team. So hopefully this is the year. Just give us an opportunity to get in the playoffs, and we'll see what we can do. All right, we're 5-3. We're playing the 4-4 Chargers this week. See if we can get a win in this one. Going up against Justin Herbert. I assume Justin Herbert's still there. And we beat the Chargers. Okay, so we've gone on a little bit of a winning streak now. We're 6-3. And we are second in the AFC North. We have the 5th seed if the season ended today for the playoffs. So not bad. But this season is still very long, and we still have a long way to go. We could fall off a cliff. I want to see if any of these guys are having any more. No, the interest really isn't going in for any of these guys. Well, listen. We traded for T. Higgins. I think because of that, I'm willing to let Jerry Jeudy walk. We could probably look at free agency and see if we can find somebody better. Now, Owosu, because, wow, he wants to be here for 6 years. Wow, I don't know if I want to commit that long to a guy that's only 89 overall. I just don't know. I'll come back to that. Miller's a backup. Okay, so Teller was not interested in the neutral offer. I guess he wants more years. Okay, he's excited to sign. That was a 2-year deal, so we've got our 86 guard back inked for the next year at least. Sorry, Sir Roderick, but you're just not progressing at all. You're a tech guy, and I love you, but I got a soft spot for my Red Raiders, but you're just not cutting it. And Joel is starting to regress a little bit, so I think we just need to let that go. The good thing is that if we let a lot of these guys go, we're going to have a lot of money to spend in the offseason. And this may be an opportunity for us, but then again, I can't really say that because the other team has to have enough cap space for trades as well. Because when we traded Deshaun Watson, it really took us a few years. It really took us a full year almost of hanging on to him just to be able to find a way to dump him and get rid of him. We had to wait through like an entire offseason after we drafted Quinn Ewers just to be able to trade him away. That was not easy. Trust me. It was hard with the contract and his rating to get him off the books. It was pretty hard. But we're starting to save a lot more of that money now, and we're starting to be able to do more of what we want during the free agency period. So maybe this is where we start to really get this team better and get it into being a contender in the AFC North. So that's what I'm hoping for. All right, so we're playing the Chiefs this week. They're actually 6-4, so this may be a winnable game for us. But if they still have Mahomes, yeah, we didn't lose by a lot, though. It looks like we only lost by 3 points, so we only lost by a field goal. That's I don't want to say that's encouraging, but that's not too discouraging. The Bengals won, though, so they're 7-3, 6-4. We're tied basically with the Ravens. We're the 6th spot, they're the 7th spot. The Steelers are 3-7. They look like they're not going to be a threat this year in the division. We do play them after we play Seattle. That's still going to be a pretty big game in terms of division standings, but we'll see. Seahawks are 7-4, so they're actually pretty good. And we beat the Seahawks to get back on track. Win by 4 points, so that's good. Looks like our offense really isn't scoring a ton of points, but as long as Ewers is keeping things afloat and our defense, led by Myles Garrett, is still able to cause havoc, hopefully this is the year of the playoffs. We're 7-4 right now. We're in a decent spot. We're right around our average number of wins that we've been for the last 2 seasons. So anything better than what we have right now, if we win one more game, if we win 2 more games with all these weeks left to go, we'll surpass our win total. We'll have the most wins that we've had during this whole rebuild. So that's a little bit encouraging, but it doesn't mean anything if we don't find a way to make the playoffs, in my opinion, because I feel like that finally we're starting to turn the corner. The guys are starting to progress a little bit better, and I think the object for us is just get an opportunity and get a crack at the playoffs. So that's what we're going for. Steelers are the worst team in our division. We really can't afford to lose this game. And we drop a doozy. Not only do we lose to Steelers, we lose by 11 points to the worst team in our division. And we firmly have dropped to 3rd place in the AFC North, and we are definitely out of the playoff picture now. We're at the 9th seed. So we're starting to slip up a little bit. Although the 49ers are 5-7, but hopefully the loss to the Steelers doesn't start to skid for us. And here it goes. We lost by 14 points. I got to see if we got any injuries. We don't have any injuries, so oh boy. Something tells me we're about to go into a tailspin, and this isn't good. The Ravens are firmly a game ahead of us for the 2nd place in the division. We have the 8th seed, so we're 1 spot out of the 7th seed, but the 7th seed is also in our division. And we play the Ravens this week. If we lose this game, I've got a bad feeling we won't make the postseason. Hopefully we win this game. Please win this. And we lose. We've lost 3 in a row. Instantly back to 500. We were 7-4, and now we're instantly back to 500 and being mediocre. We only lost by 6, though, but still. We got a new ability unlocked for our rookie middle linebacker. Under pressure. Tip drill. Players with this ability have an increased chance to catch passes that have been tipped in the air. So he's got another skill. And he's up to an 81 overall, so wow. Fitzpatrick is quickly becoming a star in front of our eyes. I think that was a very solid pick. He's had some hidden developments, and I think he's a solid middle linebacker for us. He's not a real player. I looked him up. He's not a real player like in the draft for a few years, down the road. But yeah. So that's good. But we do have a new injury. Who's hurt? Abdul Carter has a broken wrist. He's out for 6 weeks. So we've lost our middle linebacker for the back half of the season. We really need to be at our best. Well, let's see. Who's our backup left outside linebacker? I know he's not very good. Justin Smith, the rookie out of Oklahoma State, 68 overall. I mean, obviously, I would love to see him progress, but going from an 81 to a 68 at that position is not very good. All right, I got to go get somebody from the free agent pool who's still left. Left outside linebacker, Bryce Huff is out here. He's the top guy. Let's bring him on for the rest of the year while we have Carter is out for 6 weeks with a broken wrist. That might possibly be a season-ending one if we don't make the playoffs, but of course, if we do, then he may be able to come back. That's only if we make it all the way to the Super Bowl. I guess I should put him on IR, but I don't know about that. Miles Harden, we got so many corners that we just need to get rid of all these guys. We've cut a lot of them during the season, but we don't need all of them anyway. So yeah. Okay, well, as far as the depth chart now, with bringing on the new left outside linebacker, Bryce Huff. He's a 75. That's better than what we had. The only thing that bothers me is that he's not a scheme fit guy, so I don't know how much that'll help us, but hopefully a 75 left outside linebacker will help us out for this period while we may have lost our starting our starter for the rest of the season. Well, we're 7-7. We're 2 wins away from getting to our highest win total of the rebuild. We're playing the 6-8 Steelers. So if we get a win in two of our last three games, we will have had the best season of the rebuild, but still probably won't make the playoffs. Rushing yards. So it looks like that defensively, as far as what I'm looking at on the screen, defense has been decent this year. We have a good run defense. Pass defense has been okay. But offensively, we actually don't really have a solid offense. We're 30th in offensive points per game in the league, and 28th in passing yards. I got to look at some stats here. I got to see how yours is doing in terms of his numbers and everything. He's thrown for 3,000 yards, but in the grand scheme of Madden and everything, that's not really that great. 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 9 touchdowns on the ground for Nick Chubb. He may get to 1,000 yards in the last 3 games. Kendre Miller has 7 of them. Receiving-wise, Jerry Jeudy is leading us in receiving yards. Higgins is not that far behind him, but Higgins has 4 touchdowns. But Cooper Kupp actually has 7. 7. So bringing him on actually has helped a little bit. Marion Brown is not really producing well this year. But then again, we brought on Cooper Kupp. That probably knocked him down. It shouldn't have, though, because he's rated higher than Kupp. Njoku was still doing okay, 3 touchdowns. Well, it doesn't look like bringing on it doesn't really look too much like that the T. Higgins trade is really benefiting us at least too much right now. I think we still need to get a receiver in the 90s here. But they don't typically go on the free agent market. You have to trade for guys like that. And I was trying to trade for a guy in the 90s this past off season, but there was no way that I could do that. I would have to offer first-round picks for the next 3-4 years in order to do something like that. That just wasn't possible. Well, this is where things are going to get tough. 7-7, and we lost to the Steelers. So we went 0-2 against the Steelers, who are the worst team in our division this year. We're 7-8, so we have firmly dropped below 500, and we've also firmly dropped to the basement of the division. So now we got to win our last 2 games just to get to 9-7 to our best season mark. Well, unfortunately, this season started out so promising at 7-4. We controlled our own destiny. And we've lost 4 or 5 games in a row. I'm pretty disappointed. I think defensively we're getting okay there. We did beat the Rams, so if we win against the Ravens, we would have a winning record for the first time in this rebuild. We would get our highest win total. We got a new injury, though. Who's hurt now? Bill Carter, we know he's hurt. Kendre Miller, dislocated shoulder for Roberts. All right, well, I'm actually just going to go ahead and put both of these guys on IR. I'm just going to put Miller on IR, and I'm going to go ahead and put Carter on IR because it looks like we are not making the playoffs. So I'm going to put him on IR. Because of that, I don't think I'll really go out and sign a backup running back. This will give Sir Roderick Thompson opportunities to play this week in our final game of the year against the Ravens because, if we're not making the postseason, the least we could do is try to evaluate some talent that we have. So we're going to go in this game with Chubb as our starter and Sir Roderick as the backup running back. I think that based off the fact that our offense was it's looking like it's very pedestrian this year. I think defensively we're turning the corner, and I think the rookie has a lot to do with that. So he may be up for Rookie of the Year honors. I don't know. But I think it may be time to look for a different quarterback. If there's a free agent quarterback, maybe somebody maybe like an 80s guy. I don't even know who would be a free agent quarterback at this point. But if there's nobody that's really good, then we're just going to draft another one, because I don't think I'm going to accept the 5th-year option for Quinn Ewers, because look, I'm not going to make the mistake that my Dallas Cowboys made of overpaying for a guy who hasn't done anything to get you into the postseason. We drafted Quinn Ewers to be our franchise quarterback, to at least have us in the postseason by the last year of his rookie deal, or in position. And he's got our offense is 30th in the league in points. 21.1 points per game is not going to cut it. We need a better quarterback than that. Maybe we make a trade for one. Maybe we trade for a little bit of an aging guy. Maybe even Dak. I don't know. But we'll see. I think that's what we got to do. So because I feel like this, so let's take a look at the playoff picture as of right now. The Ravens are in the playoff picture. So are the Bengals. The 7th seed right now belongs to the Buffalo Bills. So let me take a look at the league standings and see where we are compared to, I guess, really everybody else. Just to see if we have an outside chance. Okay, well, we are, I know we're the 9th seed in the AFC, but the Steelers would need to lose. The Bills would have to lose, and so would the Bengals. But I don't know if we own the tiebreaker against them. Oh, the Colts are 10-6. Yeah, we don't have a shot at making the postseason. About the only thing we could do is if the Colts win and we beat the Ravens this week in our final regular season game on the road at Baltimore, we could knock them down, so we could play a little bit of spoiler, but we'd still only finish the season 9-8, no playoffs. But you know what? We're going against our arch rivals. I know this is the third. This is the 4th season in the rebuild, and we haven't made the playoffs. I'm hoping this isn't another Seattle Seahawks situation where we go through only like one postseason berth, and the rest of the rebuild we just can't make the postseason at all. And eventually, I just say, forget it. We can't do it.
It's week 18 of the National Football League.
But we'll see.
Coming up, we'll see T. Higgins. He's going to be a busy man in the passing game.
I'm still going to keep T. Higgins because, hey, we made the trade for him. We're going to keep him.
Welcome.
And like I said, the good thing is that it looks like we have a defense that is a very respectable one and one of the best, maybe like top 10, top 15 total in the league. And then again, Myles Garrett's a big reason for that. The face of the franchise, that's him right there. But I think offensively, we just need a little bit of an overhaul there. And who knows, Nick Chubb may be getting up there a little bit in age. He may retire after the end of this season or maybe the following season. I'm not really sure about that. So that may be another position we need to look at for the future as well in the draft, because we really haven't drafted any running backs during the rebuild. So I think this draft may be kind of a pretty interesting one, where I wasn't expecting to maybe think that we need to get a quarterback and a running back for the future, but that may be the case. But we're out here. Let's go out and play. And we leave this guy wide open. Man. Well, we're going up against Lamar Jackson. That was Etienne. The Ravens have Travis Etienne, or is it Trevor? Is it Trevor or Travis? I don't know. It's one of the Etiennes.
They'll motion over Flowers. Off the play fake. Jackson.
Oh my! Wow. Ravens walk-in touchdown in like the 2 plays that I was in there. Okay, here we are on offense. We got a 3rd down and 2. 3rd down and 2. Nick Chubb, you better still be able to pick this up.
Here's 3rd and 2.
Chubb, there we go.
They'll bring him down right at the 30.
Good job. We got 3rd down and 5 here. That's where I got to see what Quinn Ewers is made of, even though I think this last game is a Brown. There we go. Jerry Jeudy, 1st down catch. There we go. We're just trying to answer with a touchdown of our own, guys. We got to keep this going. 4th and 5. All right. Well, because it's early, we'll kick the field goal on the other side of this break. So we're down 7-0 early, but we can kick a field goal here. We can narrow the gap.
4th down. Dustin Hopkins now for the
Come on.
Browns field goal.
Hopkins knocks it through. We trim the lead a little bit to 4. It looks like we got to stop on defense. That's great. 3rd down and 4. Let's keep the drive alive, boys.
They go 5 receivers for 3rd down and 4.
Cooper Kupp makes the catch, first down. Good job. 3rd and inches. Still with a halfback wham here.
Njoku, the tight end, is the one in motion.
We got that block. There we go. Good run, Chubb. There we go.
The Browns are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as they find a way to convert on 3rd and 1.
1st and goal.
Here's Chubb.
All right, Chubb around the edge. Touchdown, Nick Chubb. Let's go. And we've got the lead. Ravens do take the lead right back, though. Got 19 seconds left in this quarter. It's 3rd and 4. We have 1 timeout left, and that's it. But a long completion, maybe a chance at a field goal. Come on, Judy, you're wide open. Oh, house it. Jerry Jeudy all the way for the touchdown to end the half. What a throw by yours. Great job. And Jerry Jeudy is in for the touchdown. Let's go. And we got a touchdown out of the gate in the 3rd. All right, now we're starting to put a stranglehold on this game. Offense finally showing a little bit of explosiveness at the end of the season after being ranked 30th in points per game. Nick Chubb already over 100 yards rushing, 126 for the afternoon.
A bit shaken up. Space getting tight here. Down
up by 10. It's 1:39 left in the 3rd.
Once again,
all right. Ooh, Chubb gave him the stiff arm. Let's go.
Get this ahead for a pickup of 5.
And this is just more of the same, picking up exactly.
Oh, he has 2 touchdowns today, so one of them was one where I wasn't controlling.
Mike, as you see him, they just pop out at you. I mean, he has been the driving force of this offense from the very start.
Still feel like that Mike Tomlin deserves to stay on as our coach, but I think we just need to try a different quarterback, because even though I'm playing decently with Quinn Ewers in this game, in terms of sim numbers, I mean, they didn't look that great. I mean, we only had like a few more weeks left in the season, and he hadn't been thrown for 20 touchdowns, which in the grand scheme of things is really not that great, and I just threw a terrible pass there. But then again, that was my fault. I was way ahead of the receiver. So let's go ahead and kick another Dustin Hopkins field goal, get this lead up to 13. Good thing is it looks like our defense in this game has played pretty decently. Been able to hold Lamar Jackson in check for at least a little bit on certain plays. All right, so we got a 3rd and 5. 4 minutes to go here in the game. 13. We just need a couple more first downs and we can ice this one. Njoku, get the first. There we go. Great job. Joel's hurt. 35. It's 35.
3rd and 5.
I don't know if the screen pass is a good idea, but we're going to try it. Good block. Good block, guys. There we go. The screen worked there, and we get a first down. Ewers thrown for 205 yards. I don't know. That may be one of his best performances of the season. I'm not sure. I think it's a deal where, unfortunately, at this point of his career, Ewers may have already just kind of hit the ceiling, even though he was a high draft pick for us. But if he's going to give us pedestrian numbers in terms of sim like that, it needs to be time to go in a different direction. Ravens have allowed 376 total yards to us today. Better defense all year. So we're up by 13, 2 minutes to go. Just need to hold on for the win, and we'll be home free. And we'll finish with our highest win mark of the rebuild, but no playoffs. But it's looking like this offseason is shaping up to be one where we may be overhauling the offense in terms of a lot of players. Good thing is that we've got a lot of money to spend, so that's encouraging that we have big opportunity to do kind of what we want. As Nick Chubb gets in for his 3rd touchdown of the day. Great way to close the season in terms of running the football.
Now a timeout here by Baltimore. That's going to be their 2nd. As they get it
4th and inches. I don't know why they would just be running it when they want to pass when there's 30 seconds left and it's 4th and inches.
They'll try to run.
We don't get the stop on defense, but it doesn't matter. This game is definitely over. I don't know why the Ravens keep calling timeouts. There's 4 seconds left. I don't know why they're having us play this moment. Yep, game is over. We win our final regular season game. We really blew them out in the second half, 35-14. Our offense has one of its better performances of the season, but then again, that's only mostly because I was controlling them. Good way to end the season. We finished with a 9-8 record. That's our highest win total of the rebuild, but no playoffs.
That'll do it for us.
So that'll do it for us, and that'll do it for the season. Once again, we finish the fourth year in a row of not making the postseason, but we finished with a winning record for the first time in the rebuild, and that's what happens. And yet, we are definitely not in the playoff picture. I want to take a look at the final standings and see where we finished in terms of the AFC. So we actually finished the Bills 10-7. We of course went 9-8. The Bills actually went 9-8. So we finished one spot actually out of making the postseason. Well, we'll take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But we finished 8th in the AFC actually. So that's one spot out of making the postseason. One spot out of making it. Well, it is what it is. Now we got to get ready for an off season of what looks like a lot of changes, especially at the primary position. So I'm going to sim through the playoffs, see who makes it all the way to the Super Bowl. We'll see if any of our Browns made the Pro Bowl this year. I assume Myles Garrett made it once again, like he always does. But we will see if anybody else is going to join him. Let's check out the Pro Bowl roster. Nick Chubb made the Pro Bowl, all right, as the third running back, so that's good. Had a little bit of more of a breakout season this year. Do we have any offensive linemen make it? Looks like no. Looks like Myles Garrett actually didn't make the Pro Bowl this year. Did he? That's Miles Murphy. Any linebackers? Nope. Barry Brown made it as a kick returner. Oh, yeah, because he is our kick returner. So I guess it was really just Nick Chubb and Barry Brown that made the Pro Bowl this year. Well, at least we had one Brown representing us. What about Juszczyk? Did Juszczyk make it? No, it was R. Minor. I don't know who that is. But Nick Chubb and Barry Brown made it as the Pro Bowlers this year. That is it. Surprised not to see Myles Garrett in there. What were Garrett's stats for this year? How did he do? Okay, well, yours, like I said, he didn't even throw for 4,000 yards this season. And when it comes to like the grand scheme of things, when it comes to quarterback play, you know, all of the guys that are really good quarterbacks that have like led their teams to better offensive performances, all for over 4,000 yards. Yours is way down there. Way down there. And, you know, 10 picks is not that bad, but when you're only throwing 21 TDs, that's got me kind of a little bit concerned. Let's go on defense. Let's take a look here. So Brad Fitzpatrick, our rookie, actually led us in tackles with 105. So let's see. Myles Garrett had 55 tackles. He did have 16.5 sacks. I'm really surprised he didn't make the Pro Bowl. Man, 16.5 sacks is unrelenting for Myles Garrett, for anybody. And he's only played 10 years in the league, so he's just really entering his prime. You know, I'm sure he still has a few more good years left in him and still staying in the 90s, the high 90s. So hopefully he remains that way until he retires, you know. So that's what I'm hoping for. Well, since we're in Pro Bowl week, that means Super Bowl has been determined. So let's take a look at the playoff recap. So the Packers beat the Falcons. We had the Bucks beat the Cowboys. We had the Seahawks beat the Giants. And then the Packers beat the Bucks. And the Seahawks upset the Eagles in the divisional round. And it was Packers and the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. And the Seahawks go on the road and beat the Packers in Lambeau Field. And they're going all the way to the Super Bowl for the first time for them since 2014, when the Legion of Boom got them there. And they're going to face the Chiefs, and the Patriots beat the Bills. So the Patriots, I think, have been rebuilt basically based on who they've drafted and selected and probably have their coach. The Colts beat the Bengals. The Ravens beat the Titans. And then the Patriots beat the Colts, so a renewing of a classic rivalry. And then the Chiefs beat the Ravens in the divisional round. And then it was Chiefs over the Patriots, and now it's the Chiefs against the Seahawks in the Super Bowl in 2027. Let's go ahead and advance through Pro Bowl week. We'll get through the Super Bowl. We'll check out who wins the yearly awards. Maybe our rookie linebacker Fitzpatrick was in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know. I mean, he unlocked 2 development traits during the season. He's up to an 81 already as a rookie. So maybe. We'll see. Let's view the yearly awards. Let's check it out. So Mahomes won the MVP. Coach of the Year goes to Henry Brock of the Patriots. So they must have fired Gerard Mayo at some point. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Mahomes. No love for any Browns. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Quentin Williams. Myles Garrett finished 7th. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Nobody from the Browns. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Fitzpatrick came in 4th for Defensive Rookie of the Year. The winner actually went to D. Ridley. Mahomes won Best QB. Yours didn't even make top 10. So that kind of tells me all I need to know. Best running back. Chubb finished 4th. Best receiver. No Browns here. Not even mentioned T. Higgins. Best offensive lineman. Teller finished 10th. Best defensive lineman. Garrett finished 3rd. No more Browns. Best linebacker. No Browns there either. Best DB. Denzel Ward finished 10th. Best kicker. Hopkins didn't even crack top 10. So, yeah, no Browns really up for consideration. Fitzpatrick wasn't really too close to winning Rookie of the Year on defense. So he had a good year first, though. I mean, it's encouraging. But, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and see who wins the Super Bowl. Let's check out the season recap, and then we'll go forward from there. All right, so it was the Chiefs beating the Seahawks to win their 4th Super Bowl. The MVP was Xavier Worthy. Mahomes won another MVP award. Coach of the Year was Henry Brock of the Patriots from an overall. The Offensive Player of the Year was Brandon Ayuk of the 49ers. Defensive Player of the Year was Brandon Fisk of the Rams. Offensive Rookie of the Year was Arch Manning of the Cardinals. And the Defensive Rookie of the Year went to D. Ridley of the Steelers, a strong safety. So that is the season recap. Let's take a look at the retirements. Let's see if we had anybody retire. Something tells me Juszczyk might have retired. Ooh, we had a bunch of them. Juszczyk was one of them, but also Eric Armstead. Justin Simmons. Yeah, he was getting up there in age. I wasn't really thinking about bringing him back anyway, but he has decided to retire, and so has Dustin Hopkins, and Joel has also decided to retire after 14 years. I wasn't really considering bringing him back anyway, and all these guys' contracts were pretty much up anyway. Actually, except Hopkins. I don't think his contract was up. So because of the retirements that we have, let me take a look and see when we get to the actual first stage of the offseason where we can re-sign our guys. Let me see if I want to actually re-sign some players now because of the retirements that we have. We have $123 million to work with, and Quinn Ewers, we are not going to accept his 5th-year option. 86 overall quarterback is not bad, but he put up such pedestrian numbers with us, and we didn't make the playoffs in any of the years that we had him. Owosu, I think, is still worth trying to keep. He actually wants a 5-year deal now. Oh, he's going to test out free agency. Okay, well, I'm going to franchise tag him. That drops it down to $102 million, but I don't think it's worth losing Wosu. Mike Hall Jr., I think we can get an improvement there. We're going to let Judy walk, so Miller. Let me take a look at our roster with the retirements that we have. Hopefully they're indicated in the roster menu here of players that we had retired at like different positions. Okay, so I know that we had our fullback retired, so we need to replace that. Do we have any? I don't think we have. We don't have any other left guards who are free agents. We got Teller back on a deal, so I'm not worried about that. We're gonna upgrade the end position. So defensive tackle. Well, we've got like Hunter. We've got Hall. Hopefully we can find another replacement. Puna Ford, we're gonna let walk, and the rest of these guys are decent. Abdul Carter's coming back off the injury. We got Owosu back on a deal. He actually is in the He actually is a 90 overall right now. We're not going to bring back any of those corners. Okay, so I don't really think we need to be. I don't really think we need to be make sure we invest in anybody because of the players who are losing. But let me go to the very end of this list. Double check myself. We could get a better punter, somebody who's also around the same rating. Cooper Kupp was a 1-year rental. There's no question about that. Is Bradbury our starting center? I need to double check this because I don't think he is. Is he? Is he our starting center? I feel like he is. No, it's Josh Myers. Okay, well, Bradbury can walk for sure. He can walk. Let me double check and see if there was anybody else that I need to kind of consider possibly. Ramczyk, but I think we could get better at right tackle in the offseason. Time to upgrade there, put it forward. Okay, so not a whole lot of guys we need to worry about losing too much in terms of depth because we have a lot of young guys we drafted over the years for depth, so we can afford to let some of these guys walk. All right. Okay. Well, let's take a look at our roster and what we have right now. So we declined the 5th-year option for Quinn Ewers. So we've declined his 5th-year option, which means this actually is the last year of his deal. So because we did that, this is his last chance. I'm gonna give him this one. So we declined his 5th-year option. I'm gonna give him this one more season to see what he could potentially do. And if he can't do anything better, then it's time to move on. Okay, so we need a fullback. We could use another backup running back. I think that every position, we need to look at pretty much every position needing an upgrade almost. Right tackle for sure, 100%. Left end, defensive tackle. I really want this to be an off-season where we can get most of our positions in the 80s. But are we going to be able to do that in free agency? That's the question. So here we go. Who's out here? Jalen Carter, but he's a right end. We don't need a right end necessarily. Jahmyr Gibbs is out here. He's a 90 overall. I don't really think that's worth it too much. And also, none of these guys are even really interested anyway, so I don't really think it means too much in the grand scheme of things in terms of bringing them on. Nico Collins, an 86 receiver. He's not, but the thing is, he's really not much better than what we already have. So I don't think that would be a decent upgrade, if you ask me. Brandon Aubrey is free agent. Oh, well, we need a punter. That's what we need. We don't need a kicker. We're letting Judy walk, of course. Defensive tackle. He's not better than what we had in Hall, but he's not too far off. Just because I don't want to run the risk of not having a good, decent defensive tackle, let's give an offer to Mason Smith. We have $84 million still to work with, and our offer is better than anything the Ravens have. So I'm going to drop this down initially for a team-friendly 2-year deal. It puts us ahead of the Ravens, not too much more in front, but it still helps us out a little bit. So left end-wise, Trayvon Walker is available, and he's an 81 overall. Now that would be an upgrade. Let's see what the neutral deal puts us. Where does it put us? Second to the Saints. All right, well, we got to go higher. We're spending the money. He's a scheme fit guy as well. So I think that could really help. 81 overall as well. That could be a big upgrade. Big time upgrade. We need a right tackle, but Ramczyk is the highest rated guy. Okay, let's see if we can bring him back on a team-friendly deal. We're his only offer, so we may be able to actually get him back for another season. I know we let him go, but since we can't do any better, we're going to do what we need to do. Free safety. Julian Love. Ooh, 82. Yes. Offering you a deal, sir. 100%. Oh, okay. We're his only offer then? Okay. We'll go team friendly then. We save some money where we can. Well, we're at the max that we can do for the first wave of free agency. So these are our targets. Mason Smith, Julian Love, Trayvon Walker. Oh, the Saints actually offer more money now. Okay, well, you know what? We're going to go a little bit higher. Does that put us higher than the Saints? Or does it? Okay, it puts us a little bit higher than the Saints. But that's awfully close. We're in first place. And we're going to bring back Ramczyk. I only see 4. Did we offer somebody else something? It says we're 5 for 5. Okay, well, for this first wave, let's see if we get any of these guys. I'm pretty sure we'll get Ramczyk for sure to come back. All right. Did we sign anybody? We're still in on Mason Smith, Julian Love, but there's better offers from Seattle. Ramczyk is still considering our offer. We did get Trayvon Walker. Yes, okay. Massive upgrade. Even though he really is not interested in here, we offered him a pretty decent deal to come here, so we got him as our left end. That's gonna be a big help for us. Okay, well, the Panthers came in and offered Smith a bigger deal. So you know what? I'm actually going to let this ride out because he's actually not better than what we had in Hall. So I'm going to let that ride. Julian Love, though, I'm not going to let that slip up because we need an upgrade at free safety because our free safety retired. So we offered him a bigger deal, put us ahead of the Seahawks and the Commanders. Ramczyk, I think, is the best offer we've got to him. So we're going to leave that the way it is. All right, so let me go ahead and check and see what other kind of position we have available. There's no good quarterbacks. There's no good quarterbacks available out there. So that's bleh. But we do need a backup quarterback or a veteran guy. Sean Watson, you're still playing. Jeez. We do need a backup. We could use a backup veteran running back, actually, because Nick Chubb is getting up there in age. But Gibbs already went to the Packers. But Jalen Wright, Christian McCaffrey is available as a free agent, but he's down to an 82, so he's starting to regress. But Jalen Wright doesn't look too bad. He's only 25. With a team-friendly deal. 3-year deal. Is anybody offering him anything pretty big? Oh, okay, so teams are offering him a lot. But I don't know if I want to get too crazy with offering a backup running back so much money. So you know what? Let's go with a guy that's a little bit lower. Let's go with Blake Corum. Team-friendly deal for him. Get a solid backup running back. We're his only offer, so he'll probably accept that with us. What about maybe additional receivers in the 80s? Okay. The only guy that was somewhat interested was Nico Collins, but I didn't really want to spend all that money for a guy that, just probably wasn't too worth it, if I'm being honest. Debo is out there and available. I think for depth reasons, he's worth bringing on, even if it's for a 1-year deal. I think he's worth it. Where does that put us for Debo? Okay, we're actually his only offer, so we're going to drop this team-friendly for 1 year. How about that? What more depth do we need at other positions? Let me take a look and see where we could use some additional depth on this team. Quarterback for sure, but I think we're going to address that in the draft. Drafting another quarterback who could potentially take over for Ewers if we ultimately do decide to let him walk after this season. Because that's where I'm thinking. I'm really kind of in that camp right now because I don't know if he's the long-term solution. Because we got to see results. We got to be making the playoffs next year based on this. Okay, 80. Guard and center. Okay, left guard and center. Are there any guys in the 80s in the left guard and center pools? All right, left guard and center. Left guard and center. Connor Williams in the 80s. Let's offer him a deal. We're behind the Patriots. I don't know if I want to invest too super much. Okay, let's keep this where it is. Let's go to like $40 million. Let's do that. That doesn't really put us too higher above the Patriots. Okay, well let's go a little bit higher. Can we not offer him more than this? Didn't put us any higher. Okay, well, we'll go with the player-friendly deal for 2 years. How about this? Okay, that didn't help either. Okay, well, let's still keep the offer there. If he rejects it, we'll get the money back anyway to use for other purposes. There's no real upgrade at left guard. I want to see. Can we at least get another left guard for depth? Maybe. Okay, if there's a guy in the high 70s, we'll look for something like that. Right side, we're going to get Ramczyk back, hopefully. I'm pretty sure we will. Trayvon Walker, upgrade. We need a backup right end. Defensive tackle already looked. There wasn't anybody decent there. Linebackers, we're looking pretty good. We're looking the best we have. We're still in on the free safety. I forget who it is. Oh, Julian Love. So 80's there. 80's there. Actually, we do need a kicker. So we don't have a kicker or a punter. So we actually do need to invest there. Okay, then. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and get a kicker and a punter. Let's just address that. Get it out of the way. So Brandon Aubrey is the best kicker available, and I'm going to go snag him. We need a kicker. Okay, we're his only offer. Let's go with a neutral deal for 1 year. A team-friendly deal for 1 year. Punter, Townsend is more interested than Cole, so I'm going to offer him a team-friendly deal, and hopefully he'll accept that. We're at 9 out of 10 in terms of negotiations, so we've pretty much reached kind of the end point of that. We're still in on Corum. We'll probably land him as our backup running back. Fullback is what we need. Reggie Gilliam, best fullback available. Let's go for him. We're his only offer. Let's drop that bit. Team-friendly deal. Okay. All right. Well, we're targeting much free agents. So Brandon Aubrey, Mason Smith is still considering an offer, but I think we're going to lose out on him. You know what? I'm not going to lose out on him. I'm going to go higher. Player-friendly deal, where does that put us? Above everybody else. Okay. 84 defensive tackle is an upgrade. I know it's not too much better than what we had in Hall, but he's more of a scheme fit guy in Mason Smith, so I think it's worth it. Townsend, Julian Love, Blake Corum, Ryan Ramczyk, Connor Williams, Reggie Gilliam, and Deebo Samuel. That's who we are going with for this next wave of free agency, wave number 2. Hopefully we land all these guys. And we still have $12 million to work with. So we've got money to spend for sure. So did we land everybody, or are we still looking at guys? Okay, Townsend, Love, Corum, Walker, Ramczyk, Connor Williams, Reggie Gilliam, and Deebo Samuel. We didn't get Mason Smith. He went somewhere else. Brandon Aubrey. We're still in on him, but where did Mason Smith go? Mason Smith ended up going to the Rams. Well, Jonathan Allen is out here, so I'm going to put an offer in for him, so we at least get a defensive tackle in the 80s at least. The Bucs offer more money. Okay, do you want a player-friendly deal for 2 years? Will this cut it? Okay, hopefully that works. He's not a scheme fit guy. He's a little bit older, but we're going on Jonathan Allen as our backup solution. Mike Hall, probably should have kept him, but was trying to save a little bit of money if we could. Hopefully we get who we can get. All right, so let's go ahead and get a backup quarterback, somebody who's even remotely interested. Deshaun Watson is really interested, but I'm not going to bring him back. Will Rogers fits our scheme. I'm going to bring him in as a backup quarterback. Bring him on for 2 years. I know that may be a lot to invest in a backup quarterback, but still. And we did get Gilliam, so we got that. Hold on a second, guys. I got to check my laundry. washing my comforters, so I have to give it a few more rounds in the wash. By the way, I haven't mentioned it. I actually took this weekend off from work, including yesterday. So that's why I'm actually able to stream late at night on Sunday, because normally I would be getting off work probably about this time because I have to work later on weekends from now on. So yeah, that's why I'm able to stream a little bit early. And also tomorrow, I got some, at least for the night, I got plans to hang out with some friends to watch the Cowboys-Texans game. So yeah. So maybe we also could use tight end help. So I'm going to bring on Noah Gray as another tight end to help us out a little bit. I'm going to go with a team-friendly deal for him for a couple of years just to give us a little bit more tight end help. I don't know if this will help too much in the grand scheme of things, but, hey, might as well. All right, well, we still have those 3 offers in, but let me take a look at our roster and see what our makeup looks like of that right now based on what we have. Okay, so running back-wise, wow, so Nick Chubb is all the way down to a 74. I should have looked at that. Wow, okay. Whoa. So Nick Chubb has regressed a lot than I thought he would. Okay, that's bad. We offered him a big contract a few years back. Nick Chubb just became trade bait. And I think running back just became another position we need to look at in the draft. Wow. I should have paid attention to that. That was a bad thing on my part. So Debo becomes our 3rd best receiver. We still have Bernard, Shelton, and some of the younger guys that we've drafted over the years. Barry Brown instantly becomes our 2nd best receiver. We still, of course, have T. Higgins. Tight end wise, Fano. I do need another left guard. Is there a 70s guy left guard maybe still left? Oops, free agency. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, left guard. I think it was a deal that nobody was interested. Okay, well Jonah Jackson is 78. We're just going to have to offer him a deal because we need a left guard that's at least in the 70s, at least somewhat respectable. Okay, actually, going less than that. And we have spent all of our money. So, yeah. So we spent all of our money. This is what we got. So we got Will Rogers coming in as a backup. We got Noah Gray. We got Jonah Jackson, Jonathan Allen, and Brandon Aubrey. And we have $1 million left. So, yeah. Hopefully we land all the rest of these guys. I did not know Nick Chubb had regressed that much to a 74 overall. That is not good. So running back just became another position that we absolutely need to be looking at in the draft. I'm glad we signed Blake Corum, but as of right now, he is our starter. So that's a little bit interesting, if you ask me. So did we not actually get somebody? Looks like we actually did get everybody that we offered a contract to in the last wave of free agency. All right, so let me take a look at the roster. Let me kind of get some of the numbers situated the way that I want it. Okay, Nick Chubb, we're gonna start seeing if we can do something right away. I mean, he's a 70 running back. I don't even know of anybody who might need another running back on the roster of somebody like this. Too bad, though. I really felt like Chubb could be somebody that was worth building this offense around. But right now, doesn't look like it. So which team has a good amount of cap room? Carolina has a lot of cap room. Who's their running back? They still have Aldridge, and they've got Jonathan Brooks, who actually is an 86, but there's no way we could get him. At this point, I think it's just worth it to swap Chubb for maybe like a 3rd-round pick or something like that. Don't feel it brings enough value. Well, what about a 4th? You guys take a 4th for Chubb? Still declined. So I guess the best we can do is a 5th for Nick Chubb. Yep. Got Nick Chubb off the books. I don't know how much cap space this gave us, but knowing that Chubb is a 74 and he's on the backside of his career indefinitely, it changes a lot. So we are looking at quarterback, even though yours is an 89, but he's on the last year of his contract. So I'm looking for somebody to, take over for him. Blake Corum now is our starter, but he's a penciled-in starter as of right now because we're looking at running back in the draft for sure now. And I'm looking at receiver too. Hopefully there's a stud early. And that may be the better way to go. Try to get a really good stud receiver in the first round and go from there. So Jonah Jackson, 79. Okay, so offensive line-wise is looking solid, but it could be a little better. 83, 79, 82, 85, 80, 81. Trayvon Walker was our biggest pickup in the offseason, no question about that. 99, Garrett. 82, Allen. I still could look for defensive tackle in the draft. 81, 83, 90, and 2 corners at 89, starting corners at least. 83, free safety and Julian Love. 83, Delpit. 86, 83. So if you ask me, this roster is looking pretty solid in terms of just, defensively. I think defensively our roster is looking pretty good. So I think the approach in the draft this year is to go offensive heavy. And we also got an additional 5th-round pick because we traded away Nick Chubb. So, heavy on offense, and I really got to stick to that plan because sometimes I get in the draft and I don't stick with the plan. Oh, I didn't look at mock drafts before, but that's okay. Well, we do need a quarterback. Keon Russell from Alabama. We're going with him. We could have potentially just gotten our quarterback for the future. A+, excellent pick. Shows great touch on intermediate throws. Processes the defense quickly. Stays calm when throwing under pressure. He's coming for you, Quinn Ewers, if you don't play well this year. Just letting you know that. They have a quarterback competition in the preseason. There's a bunch of quarterbacks who are still looking pretty good, but we need a receiver. We're in the 3rd round, so I'm going to go with C.J. Wiley. Good pick. Quiet, soft hands that catch everything. Strong. All right. Well, we're in the 4th round because we don't have a whole lot of picks. We need a running back. The best halfback is this guy right now. Alvin Henderson. But Gennard Pringle fits our scheme. So I'm going to go with him. Hopefully it's not a bad pick. It says good pick. Possesses everything, spin move, drops pads. Fast enough. Okay. Maybe our running back of the future. Pringle. I don't know if he's related to Byron Pringle. We do need a backup right end. This guy, Kyle Baxter, doesn't look too bad, and I'm just picking him for depth behind Myles Garrett, if I'm being honest. It says a bad pick, so we drafted him to be a backup, so that's kind of what you expect. Of course, because of the T. Higgins trade we did last year, that's why we don't have as many picks, which did hurt us in the grand scheme of things. Defensive tackle Jonathan Haywood actually doesn't look too bad. Let's go with him. I know I said that I was going to go offensive heavy, but I think we still need to look at some defensive guys for depth for the future. What about this receiver here? Elijah Thomas. I'm going to go with another receiver. Get some more offensive help. Even though he may be a guy that we put on the bench. Okay, the first average pick in the last couple of picks, so they like that pick better. Trent Buchanan, best guy on the board right now. Let's go with him. Not sure what it's going to say about that pick. It didn't give us a grade, so it is what it is. So draft free cap for 2028. Let's take a look. First round, Keon Russell of Alabama, 18th overall pick. 3rd round pick, C.J. Wiley. We didn't have a 2nd round pick because of the T. Higgins trade. Gennard Pringle, they have the exact same face, C.J. Wiley. This shows you how crazy this is now. But Jannard Pringle, possibly our future starter, but at 72, long hill to climb. Kyle Baxter was the 5th-round pick, 61. We got a 63 Jonathan Haywood in the 5th round. In the 6th round, we drafted Elijah Thomas, who's a 71 overall. We drafted Trent Buchanan in the 7th round, who's a 67 overall corner. So, Russell coming in at a 77. That's not too daunting in terms of Quinn Ewers and ratings. Like that's a 12-point rating differential. So I'm not, too much thinking that Russell is really going to be in direct competition with Ewers, but we drafted a guy that could possibly be our backup plan in the backup plans for our franchise QB, because offensively we got to do better than what we're doing right now. And with Pringle, who knows when it comes to, him being the future starter at running back. I know this, we're going to have some challenges big time. Let me see if I can get Brandon Aubrey 17 and give maybe Corum his number 2. Is there anybody wearing number 17? Maybe at the quarterback position? No, there's nobody wearing 17. About Townsend as our punter? No, he's not wearing that. Okay, Spencer Garrison is wearing number 17. So let's actually change this up. Change this number to something random like 25. That's fine. So we're going to give Aubrey his number 17, so we can give Corum number 2. Corum also fits our scheme, so that's encouraging as our penciled-in starter, so to speak. But still, Corum just like he wore at 2, like he wore at Michigan, and Jannard Pringle is coming in at 72 overall. Hopefully, this first year he can get groomed up a little bit, work his way into being a starter. Barrion Brown is up to an 82. Of course, we signed Deebo Samuel. C.J. Wiley starting out at 67 is a little bit encouraging. That's not bad, but we have a bunch of receivers who just really, quite frankly, have not lived up to the expectations. Like Lacey hasn't been anything decent since we drafted him. Joku, we got Gray as the backup tight end. Norfleet, I think he's on the last year of his deal, so yeah. Let me just see if Keelan Russell is a real player. Ooh, wait a minute. He is a real player. Okay, so this guy plays at Duncanville as of right now. I guess he's committed to Alabama. And he wears number 12. So he can keep his college number right now. Oh, he's starting out in the 80s? He's starting out at 80 overall. Okay, that's encouraging. But, this guy as a rookie is going to get groomed. And, that's what we're going with. I think that's the best way that we can go in terms of that. So I feel like with the offense, I didn't know that Nick Chubb had regressed, but getting an 83 Blake Corum is definitely an upgrade over Nick Chubb overall. But I should have gone with the earlier guys, traded away, and traded away Chubb to give us some more restructuring. So let me actually restructure some contracts here, because I know that there's some guys that are being paid the big bucks. So I want to see if I can restructure some contracts here, give us a little bit of more money, so that way it can help us out. Can we restructure Myles Garrett's contract? We'll say $12.5 million. That's good. Owosu, who we gave a big new contract to, I want to see if I can restructure his. No, we can't. Oh, yeah, I forgot. He's franchise tagged. Denzel Ward, can we restructure his contract at all? Nope. Ewers, we already tried him. Let's see. Ewers actually is one of our top players now. He actually is almost in the 90s. Maybe this is the year that he finally takes that next step and he is the man. And he actually, really puts a number on it. But you know what? I gotta find a way to make sure that our offense is a good aerial attack. So I'm going to go ahead and advance to the preseason, and I'm going to see if I can make a massive trade before the season begins to get a good receiver. Okay, so let me see what receivers maybe we can get. Maybe if even fit our scheme and that are in the 90s. Marvin Harrison Jr. is in the 90s. CeeDee Lamb is a 99, all right. A.J. Brown. He's now playing really second fiddle to Devontae Smith. I was really hoping I could find maybe a scheme fit guy. Garrett Wilson's a scheme fit guy. Would the Jets take first round pick for next year straight up for Garrett Wilson? Declined, of course. We probably have to offer one of our top guys. Maybe we can give them T. Higgins. We can get Garrett Wilson. Okay, it's still declined, but it's getting close. We did sign Noah Gray. Maybe it's time to just trade away Njoku. Got Garrett Wilson. It did cost us trading away Njoku, but we have a 93. Well, 90s, but still. We have a 90 overall Garrett Wilson. So we really have a massive upgraded receiver. He also fits the scheme that we're running. So I think that really helps out. So I'm glad we actually signed Noah Gray. So I'm thinking I was going to go with Noah Gray as our starting tight end for this season. We got rid of T. Higgins and a first-round pick for Garrett Wilson. We got an elite receiver on this roster finally for Quinn Ewers. So now Quinn Ewers, there are no excuses for him not to have a good season throwing the football. And you know what? I want to see if I can get a running back. I know this is, crazy and all this, but hey, I got to try to do what I got to try to do. I want playoffs this season. I'm going for the playoffs. And to do that, we got to do crazy stuff. Okay, so I want a running back that is at least in the high 80s in a trade. James Cook. What about we get James Cook? We give you guys Greg Newsome straight up for Cook. Accepted in a heartbeat. Yes. So we got James Cook. It did cost us trading away Greg Newsome, who's been a good corner for us, but we need to get an upgrade for this offense. We've got a massive upgrade at running back now. Got James Cook is our new starting running back. 89 overall. 83 Blake Corum is going to back him up. That's a good 1-2 punch at running back if you ask me. So I know James Cook wears 7 in Buffalo, or 4 in Buffalo. But what did he wear maybe in college? What did he wear in college? So he wore 4 at Georgia as well. Okay, so he's locked in with number 4. Do we have a quarterback that's this guy Greg Hayden? He can wear a completely different jersey number at this point. We got James Cook of the Bills in a trade to be our new starter at running back. So we'll give you number 7. We're going to give James Cook his number 4, make him feel right at home. And we're actually going to restructure his deal. It'll free up some cap space. That's awesome. Let me see if I can restructure maybe Garrett Wilson's contract because we got him, of course, in the trade. So we got James Cook as our new starting running back, 89 overall. Got a 90 Garrett Wilson. And both of these guys are scheme fit guys as well. I was really trying to see if there was a possibility that I could get guys to fit the scheme. And restructuring Garrett Wilson's contract freed up $7 million, so that's big. So we got a brand new number one receiver. The T. Higgins experiment just didn't work out, so we're over it. We're trying something new. And Garrett Wilson is actually younger than T. Higgins, so I think it's worth it. Barry Brown, 82, but I think he's reached his ceiling. Obviously, we could use another receiver in the high 80s. Now let me check the free agency pool and see if there is another receiver in the 80s who could help us out, at least for this season. Treylon Burks is a free agent. He fits our scheme. He's 79. But I'm going to sign him on to give us a little bit of extra receiving help. Hopefully that'll help us out just a smidge. I did see that Stephon Diggs was available, but he's gotten into the 70s at this point because he's aged, so not worth it there. Elijah Thomas is a rookie we drafted out of Oklahoma. I doubt this guy is real, but let me take a look. Elijah Thomas, Oklahoma. Oh, okay, so he is going to be a player at the University of Oklahoma. But he wears number 1, so can't really judge that. The only thing is, he's let's give him we can't give him anything in the 80s. Okay. Let's give him 18. He doesn't have a face, so because Burks wore 16 with the Titans. So I'm going to give him his old jersey back. Offensively, as far as just our main starter, our weakness actually just became our tight end because we traded, Njoku to the Jets as part of the Garrett Wilson trade, which also did cost us a first-round pick. But I'm okay with Noah Gray as a 75 overall tight end. I know he doesn't fit the scheme, but then again, I think it just means that, those balls are going to go to Wilson, Brown, and also Burks, who we just picked up to help us in the receiving room. I know we got Deebo Samuel on a contract as well. Let me see if I can actually restructure his deal, although I think it's for 1 year, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, we signed a 1-year deal, so we can't do anything with that. Okay, so our receiving core is definitely more veteran-based now. I mean, Barry Brown's been here for a few years, and he made the Pro Bowl last year as a kick returner. But, we got some more veteran help there now. Treylon Burks, Deebo Samuel, I think that's really helped because a bunch of these receivers that we have really not progressed like the way I want to. Offensive line could leave a little bit to be desired, to be honest, but we have every position in the 80s except our left guard. But Jonah Jackson could probably get in the 80s by some point during the season, so I'm encouraged there. Getting Trayvon Walker was the big free agent signing as well. I want to see if I can actually restructure his contract potentially. We can. That'll free up $2.53 million. That's good. So we got him as a new free agent. Antonio Hills has progressed a little bit, but I need an established player over there. Elijah Roberts, 71. I think this may be his last. I'm giving up essentially on him as like a starter and all that. Kyle Baxter, of Arizona State, 62. We just needed depth behind Garrett. That's why I drafted him. Jonathan Allen. Let me see. What is his number actually in Washington? Jonathan Allen. Let me see. He's 93. Okay. Not 93 years old. Jonathan Haywood, I think we can change his number just about everything. About anything. So let's change Haywood to something random like 98. And let's change Allen to 93 to give him his number like he was wearing in Washington. And we can actually restructure his deal too, so I'm going to do that. I got to keep in mind to restructure contracts when I can because, save a little bit of money here and there so that way when you get to the offseason you can actually do something. So 82, 81 Abdul Carter, he'll be back off the injury. 83 Fitzpatrick after a pretty good rookie season. 90 Owosu, although he is playing on the franchise tag, but hopefully I can get him on a long-term deal. Hopefully he progresses more. Obviously, we did trade away Craig Newsome now, so we do have a bit of a weakness at corner. So let me actually go and see if I can get a free agent corner in the 80s to help us out. at least for this season over there, as kind of a stopgap guy, so that way we don't lose all momentum as having based on how good our defense was last year. Now, Brandon Stevens is the best rated corner, but he's not in the 80s, but I'm going to sign him anyway just to give us a little bit of help over there because he's better than Jason Marshall Jr. Even though I still like him as our third corner, I think that getting him, getting Stevens in here will help out a little bit with that, take some of the pressure off because he's a better guy than Marshall. 78, we got a 73, we got a 73 and a 72 and a S67. Julian Love, big one there. There's a backup running back that's running number 20. Let's see if I can give Dwight Allen a random number that's different and give Julian Love 20. Let's give him 22, and let's give Julian Love. I think he did wear number 20 in real life, like with most of the teams he's been with. Actually, structure still 2. That'll save like $1 million. Let's go ahead and give him his 20.